Welcome to
Well, look at this. We got us a wanderer all the way out here in Wilm's Wharf. You must got some important business out here to be wandering around, but 'tain't none of my beeswax what you're doing. But if you're interested in trading, maybe we can help each other. My boys are hunting lurks. Finest meat you could get, but he don't move around in your stomach like mole rat does. Right dangerous, those things. Just as soon take your head off as look at you. Watch yourself out here. They're all over. Some fellas came out here a while ago that said they was looking for some do-gooder that came out from one of them vaults. I told 'em I ain't seen nobody like that and sent 'em on their way. They might still be around here, though, if you think you can help 'em. Always good to hear.
Hey there. A few odds and ends? A pleasure doing business with you.
Good to see you. Hey, looking to buy? Nothing but the highest quality leftovers, junk, and crap. Ain't none of my business.
Oh, thank God.
Welcome to Rivet City. Please wait while the bridge extends.
Hold it right there. State your business in Rivet City. And who might your father be? If he lives on this boat, I know him. Oh yeah? And I'm a fairy princess. You keep up this smart-ass attitude, and you're gonna wind up floating face down in the river. It matters because I don't let just anybody wander around this boat. I'm responsible for these people. So either you tell me what I want to know, or you don't get on. It's pretty damn simple. All right, all right. You can go on in. If I...
I'm on duty. Make it quick. I suppose. At the stern. That's the west end to you. Oh, really? If someone took your stuff, go... Otherwise, I've got to see... I'm on duty. Make it quick. Dr. Preston is in the upper deck. The common room is free, but the beds are lousy. It's on the midship deck. If you want to sleep well rested, rent a room from Vera Weather.
You're in the Rivet City Clinic. I'm Dr. Preston. Sure, I could patch you up. Nothing too serious. I don't work for free, though. Let's say 75 caps. This won't hurt a bit. See? That wasn't so... You don't look hurt. Facial surgery is way too dangerous to try. Need special equipment and expertise. Reminds me of this old hoax. Here, listen to this holotape. Sure thing. Here's what I have. Take care of yourself. That's secure for a reason.
I'm Flack. If you want something better than that pea shooter, stop by Flack and Shrapnel's. I'm sure that was just luck. You should upgrade. Check out our shop in the market. Try the Muddy Rudder. They don't ask too many questions down on the lower deck. No.
Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's son, aren't you? What are you doing here? Well, yes, of course I do. Don't you know who I am? I suppose James never told you. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your father many years ago. Your mother as well, in fact. You'll have to forgive me, this has all been very stressful. What with your father suddenly showing up here after being gone for so long. You have to understand that we put all of that behind us. Project Purity, our work, all of it. We've moved on, even if your father hasn't. You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there. Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already. Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone. I suppose so. I worked with them for several years until your mother died, and your father decided it was time to leave. What else do you want to know? James? He was very driven, determined to change the world. Well, we all were back then, I suppose. He was focused on two things, really. Making Project Purity work, and your mother. When she died, I think he gave up. I know he wanted to keep you safe, but I think part of what he did was run away. But it seems that he never really was able to get over the idea. I'm frankly shocked that he waited all this time and wants to try again. Yes, your mother was... well, she was a good woman. A very dedicated scientist. Your father loved her very much. It was a shame that she died. She had been excited to meet you. Complications from childbirth. None of us were expecting it. We weren't as prepared as we could have been. You have to understand, we were struggling with scavenged, derelict equipment. We did everything we could. Yes, well, I'm sorry it wasn't enough. James? You have... As I said, I am sorry. The last I knew, he was headed back to the lab at Project Pure. I still say it's dangerous, and he shouldn't have risked it. What do you want to know? Look, I don't want to be harsh, but I have problems of my own. I don't have the resources to support James's foolish endeavors, or your chasing after him. I'm sorry. I suppose I can spare a few stim packs. It's not much, but it might make things easier for you. What? Well, I'm not sure what there is to tell. Your father and I, we worked together for a long time. I think we were really on to something. But then there were complications. The project was abandoned and your father disappeared. I returned here to Rivet City and established the lab you see before you now. Project Purity, we called it. What do you want to know? It was simple, really. Fresh, clean water for everyone. Such a simple idea, and yet so impossible to realize. The plan was to build a facility that could purify all the water in the tidal basin at once. No radiation, no muck, just clear water. It just turned out to be more difficult than we anticipated. We had the basic principles down, we understood most of the science behind it, but the radiation in the area is so pervasive. Small-scale tests were fine, but anytime we tried to test the process on a larger scale, it was just too much. Maybe if we'd had more time, or better equipment. You happened. It wasn't just you. We had more problems than we could handle already, but your birth is what finally pushed it over the edge. Your father decided that you were more important than everything we'd been working for, and he left. He left all of us. Once he was gone, the Brotherhood decided we weren't worth their time anymore. Without their protection, we had to abandon the purifier. This is the Rivet City Science Lab. It's taken many long years to put together, but we've done well for ourselves. Our work on portable fusion power and hydroponics are coming along quite nicely, if not quite according to schedule. Rivet City is one of the few bastions of civilization left in the land. We're working to rebuild our society, to make the world livable again. I've already told you everything.
Look, Dr. Zimmer, we've been over this.
I'm Janice Kaplinsky, Chief Botanist. What do you need? I did see a man talking to Dr. Lee, but I really shouldn't be discussing it. She's already in a bad mood. I'd hate to make it worse. You should probably just talk to her about it.
We don't know about your runaway robot, and we don't care. This lab is dedicated to solving real problems.
Yes. But Dr. Lee...
Dr. Lee is trying to save lives, and your constant interruptions are interfering with those efforts. Now please, stand aside.
I'm sure the good doctor's work with water purification is fascinating. But if you only knew what was at stake, the technology in that android...
What's at stake? You won't tell me what's at stake. Vagaries and secrecy. A robot's a robot, Zimmer, no matter how shiny the paint job. Now, please.
Ignorance and facetiousness. That's all you people are good for. Shiny paint job indeed. You can't even imagine the Commonwealth's accomplishments.
You know, if you're so smart, maybe you could help us, But no, that never even crossed your mind. Go peddle your selfishness somewhere else.
Fine, but I'm not leaving. Not until I've spoken to Dr. Lee. I'll be here when she's ready to abandon her chemistry set and talk real science.
Suit yourself.
Dr. Lee,
Good to see you.
Solutions will be ready in a few hours.
You there. What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire? To the point. I like that. Well, as it turns out, I've misplaced some very sensitive property. How do I put this in a way you'll understand? All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, that's not all a robot can be. You see, in the Commonwealth, we've made artificial persons, synthetic humanoids, programmed to think and feel and do whatever we need. And occasionally, they get confused and wander off. You're helping me retrieve this android, aren't you? I've tracked him this far. He's out there somewhere, in the capital wasteland. He must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found him by now. It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's an android. Don't upset him by talking with him. Just come get me immediately. I'll handle it. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. I have at my disposal advanced technology from the Commonwealth. I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think, you'll be the envy of all your friends. Excellent! Locate my android, and you won't be disappointed. Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking me. I swear, I'll make him pay for that. Forget everything you know about robots. Those buckets are mere children's toys compared to the real thing. Androids have fake skin and blood and are programmed to simulate human behavior, like breathing. They can even eat and digest food realistically. Like I've said, I suspect he's had facial reconstruction and possibly even a mind wipe. Search the offices of doctors or techies for android information. If he's come into contact with these people, there may be records. Start with Dr. Preston. He lives on this leaky boat. See if he knows anything. He's a doctor, after all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy trying to ignore my surroundings. Maybe he didn't exactly wander off. Maybe he fled. Escaped captivity, as it were, if he began to misinterpret his situation. It's possible my android sought to forget his previous life, wipe away all memory, all guilt, trick himself into believing he really is human. So no, he may not be just an ordinary robot, but he's certainly not human, no matter how badly he wishes it so. I made him. I want him. End of story. By God, you're as annoying as you are clever. Very well. I'll tell you what you want to know, if it helps you locate my property. The duty of this particular unit was the hunting and capturing of other escaped androids. Yes, others have escaped. It's one of the side effects of having such an advanced AI. Machines start to think for themselves, fool themselves into believing they have rights. And so, this particular android may have believed he'd done something wrong, immoral, and wanted to forget those deeds. Satisfied now? This particular android, designation A321, is different, special, the most advanced synthetic humanoid I've ever developed. The others, like my escort Armitage there, are all older models, easily replicated. But A321, it will take years to recreate him. So you see, this android must be located at all costs. The others are all acceptable losses, but A321, he is irreplaceable. Really? Someone managed to procure those here in the wasteland? Impressive. But who out here could have the skill to use them? You're making progress, certainly. But you've got nothing more to learn from me. Get back out there. The sooner you find my property, the sooner I can get out of this slum. Really, how do you people live like this? The Commonwealth itself is nothing but a war-ravaged quagmire of violence and despair. Inside the sealed environment of the Institute, however. But the Institute's affairs are none of your concern. Your undeveloped mind couldn't even begin to comprehend what we've accomplished. A circuit neuralizer? Here in the wasteland? How'd they manage to get their grubby hands on one of those? Impressive. You are showing signs of intelligence and resourcefulness. You might turn out useful after all. But you're wasting time talking to me.
Hey there.
That's close enough. Keep your hands where I can see them.
What do you need? Look, some of us are trying to get work done here. There have been enough disruptions recently. Anybody coming through here would have to talk to Dr. Lee. Why don't you go bother her about it? He's from up north. He was bragging about how great it is up there. Yeah, great. They can't even keep tabs on their robots. She's certainly head and shoulders above most everyone else around here, though that's not saying much. The Weatherly Hotel is a good choice. It's on the upper deck.
Don't touch the vegetables. They're fragile.
Evening. I'm on duty. Make it quick. Chief Harkness meets with Dr. Lee and Bannon to discuss security matters. It's a waste of a good Monday morning, if you ask me. They should just let Chief Harkness call the shots. She's some sort of genius. You know, one of those egghead scientist types. Her lab is in the stern end of the ship. Watch it, will you?
I'm on duty. Make it quick.
Trouble in this area? No, I haven't seen anything.
Ted Strayer, you can chill with me if you want, dude. You mean, like fix stuff? Nah. I just hang out, dude. I've got enough chems to last a while. Oh, yeah. Later, dude.
Hello! Haven't run into you before. You probably wouldn't remember me anyway. I'm Mr. Lopez. Nobody does. I'm not very memorable. Don't worry. It won't be a problem for much longer. Just leave me alone.
Stay away from me! What do you want? Are you one of them? I suppose it doesn't matter if I tell you. I used to be a slave. I saw a slaver on this ship. His name is Sister. I'm afraid he's after me. Really? Oh, thank you. Can you help me? I've been so worried with him around. I can hardly sleep at night. I am at your mercy. Well, are you going to... Thank you. I'll go to Flak and Shrapnel's just before closing. I don't have anything to give you, but I think I can trust you with a secret. If you ever go up north, there is a secret slave hideout called Temple of the Union. You might find them useful. I'd rather be alone just now.
Stay chill, dude.
Yeah? What do you want? Yeah, that's James. My own little troublemaking brat. I'd sell him to you if they'd let me. Unless you've got any more personal questions, I'm busy. Yeah? What do you want? Oh, really? My husband ran off and got himself killed and left me to raise his little brat. So don't you tell me how I should or shouldn't be.
Howdy, mister. What do you want? My mom is probably drunk, and my dad's dead. Is that good enough for you, asshole? What's your problem, mister? What did you say about my mother? You take that back! You first! Go jump off the... What's your problem, mister? It's a boat. A real... Whatever.
Don't mind me.
Hey!
Yes, that's locked. And yes, I can see you eyeing it. I'm Brock, the bouncer. I take care of the troublemakers. You aren't going to be a troublemaker, are you? Let's keep it that way. Belle can mix almost anything as long as it's beer or whiskey. Don't tell me your problems.
You've been rather busy lately, asking questions, investigating. So is that it? You're some kind of investigator? A detective for hire? Or do you have some kind of personal grudge against an innocent android who simply wants to be left alone? Please tell me. I'd really like to know. Am I? You haven't talked to someone lately about a missing android, or nosed around and found some information you should have left buried. I belong to a movement that has taken great efforts to hide this android, to protect him. I think you see where I'm going with this. You really want help? Take this. It's an internal component from the very android you're searching for. Don't ask how I obtained it. Present it to Dr. Zimmer in Rivet City. Tell him the android is dead and that was on the corpse. He'll believe you. Do that and Zimmer will go back to the Commonwealth and leave that poor soul alone. Do that and you'll have saved a man's life. Just understand that this android is now, for all intents and purposes, a man. He looks human, he acts human, he believes he is human. But even if he's not, even if he's a machine, he's capable of rational thought and emotion. So you see, his soul is as human as yours or mine. This person, and he is a person, deserves a chance at freedom. Please, if there's a shred of decency in you, don't take that away from him. We call ourselves the Railroad. Our mission is the rescue and salvation of synthetic humanoids. Androids, as they're more commonly known. Of course, if you help me, and thus the android, God and the universe will smile upon you. Is there any better compensation? Yes, if we are able, but there are others in the wasteland who assist in the plight of human slaves. Our android brethren have only us. Tell you what, you deliver that component to Zimmer and tell him the android is dead, and you can consider yourself a member in good standing. You know what you need to do.
Yes, that's locked. And yes, I can see you eyeing it.
Another day, another dollar. Let's go.
God, I'm Diego, the acolyte for St. Monica's. Oh yes, Father Clifford conducts services every Sunday morning. You should come. Father Clifford. The sanctuary is in the ship's fore on the upper deck. The good father holds services every Sunday morning. Saint Monica saved her own son's soul from eternal damnation. She is now the patron saint of lost children for the faithful everywhere. You really should come to church on Sunday mornings. The sermon will be all about Saint Monica. God bless you.
I'm on duty. Make it quick. If someone took your...
Yeah, I knew she was drinking river water.
The ship's water isn't much better. If we don't get fresh water soon, we'll all end up like her.
Did you hear about the fight in the Muddy Rudder last night?
Yeah, Belle's going to have to replace some tables and chairs.
I'm sure she'll just scrounge some from the
Yes?
lower deck.
Please excuse me. There is much work to be done. I help Dr. Lee when she needs equipment moved. I am no scientist. I just help with the heavy things.
I'm sure she'll just scrounge
I really
some from
hope
the
you're
lower
not
deck.
thinking of breaking into there.
Good to see you.
Today we hear the story of Saint Monica. She is the patron saint of lost children, very popular among the faithful of Rivet City. I'm surprised you've never heard of her. If you want to hear her story, it will be the topic of my sermon on Sunday. Services begin at 8 a.m. You should come. Yes, my flock is all of Rivet City. You should come to services this Sunday. I'll be telling the tale of Saint Monica. Yes, I know. I've been counseling him for some time now. He used to go stand on the observation balcony all afternoon. He's down to only an hour or so at 3 o'clock. Saint Monica...
Yes, sir? It's noisy, dark, and smelly. But we're safe here. No super mutants or raiders, and maybe Dr. Lee will find a way to get clean water for us. You mean like hitting on me? No. Most of them are polite. Even the ones like Diego that I'd want to flirt with seem to ignore me. Well, one of us is. Sometimes it seems like he doesn't even know I'm there. Yeah, right. I don't think I could get him drunk enough to do that. I wish I had some ant pheromones. Trini says they would make any man lose control. She's not very social. Stays in her lab in the stern. She's smart, though. Real smart. James's mom, Tammy, is a real bitch. She treats him like crap. I think it's because she drinks too much. Yes, sir?
Hey!
Who are you? Got any psycho? I could really use a fix, but I'm broke. Ha! I run the chem shop, but I'm broke and can't buy chems. My wife, Cindy, she's always watching the inventory. If I take any, she'll lock me out. It's a place to live, safe from raiders and super mutants. With Dr. Lee on our side, maybe we can even begin to rebuild the world. With Dr. Lee... Make it quick, will ya? I'm coming. Thanks, man. I really need this fix. Man, that is some good shit. I am really jazzed now.
Hello?
Make it quick, will ya? I'm coming down. Thanks, man.
Hey.
Quite an impressive collection, isn't it? Well, don't be shy. Have a look around. Abraham Washington's the name. Curator of this little slice of American history. Ah, a fellow scholar, I see. Each of the documents in this room tells a small but important story about the history of the United States of America. Unfortunately, the greatest prize of all is missing from the collection. In 1776, the Second Judgmental Congress got together and adopted a document drafted by none other than Thomas Jefferson himself. It was the day the United States of America earned its name and secured its place in history. This magnificent achievement took form in the Declaration of Independence. Oh, would you? It would mean so much to me and the Society's collection here. You'd secure your place in history. The man who rediscovered the Declaration of Independence. Imagine the fanfare. Sorry, my mind tends to wander. I will see to it that you receive a worthwhile trade. I have in my possession the only known schematic for the creation of something called the railway rifle. Bring me the Declaration, and it's yours. Excellent! You won't regret it, I promise you. Imagine, you are taking part in another chapter of American history. I envy you. You can find the Declaration of Independence in the ruins of the National Archives. Please ask them. After all, knowledge is power. Certain information came to light. A piece of what was called parchment, sort of a thick paper, has faded handwritten writing all over it. It's no more than 2.5 feet tall and 2 feet wide. If you find it, you should be able to roll it up carefully. On July the 4th in 1776, a group calling themselves the Second Judgmental Congress got together at Fort McHenry in Maryland. After a ceremony which ended with Paul Revere singing the famous battle hymn known as the National Anthem, the document was signed. From there, it was sent to England by plane, presumably, and presented to King George himself. Thus began the Evolutionary War. In the D.C. ruins, you'll find the National Archives, or what's left of it anyway. The building should contain the document in a protective glass case. Be careful. The place is swarming with super mutants. Here, let me pinpoint its location for you. Oh? Remember, treat the document with care. It's locked for a reason. Don't get any ideas.
You're a lowlife. If you keep your nose clean, we'll let you stay. Hey.
Hello.
God bless you, and keep... What are you talking about? I'm a man of the cloth. Well, I will be as soon as Father Clifford... Never mind. It doesn't matter what Angela thinks. Soon I will take vows of chastity. Father Clifford says she is my trial, my temptation. I must choose between her and the church. I have chosen the church.
Yes, that's locked. And yes,
I'm done, I need a drink. I'm going to play with CJ. What's your problem, mister?
Well, decided to check out the shop, eh? If you want any of this shit, just holler. Here, in Rivet City, I'm packing, and most of the rest of these guys are packing, not to mention security. Need to do some killing, eh? Made up your mind? Made up your mind? Neat. Thanks.
Is there a problem? Bannon and Dr. Lee and I all meet on Monday mornings to talk about citywide issues. It's pretty informal. The council doesn't have much real power. She's one of the members of the council, runs the science lab here. Don't bother her unless it's important. Her lab is in the stern end of the ship. We're the safest, most secure city in the wasteland. Nothing can get in here without our say-so.
Welcome to Potomac Attire. I am Bannon, proprietor and city council member. I carry discriminating attire for discriminating customers. Between you and me, keeping out the riffraff is good for business. Dr. Lee, Chief Harkness, and I are all on the council. We meet every Monday morning. I can be very influential, if you know what I mean. Far more than Seagrave Holmes. A threat? No, of course not. Well, maybe. He wants to replace me on the council. He's a shady character. I just can't prove it. Now, if someone were to find something incriminating in his room, well, let's just say I would be very appreciative. Dr. Lee, Chief Harkness, and I are all on the council. I can be disgusting, isn't it? Someone should talk to that boy. He has no business hanging around that tramp if he's going to be a priest. Straight to the point. I like that. Come back soon.
This is a quick fix. I mean, that's the name of the shop. My name is Cindy. Cindy Cantelli. Oh, okay. Well, the poor dear. I wish there was something I could do to help her. That boy ought to just give her a tumble. It would be good for both of them. The Muddy Rudder. Belle waters down the liquor, but it's cheap. It's on the lower deck.
I'm looking for troublemakers. Have you seen any? I'm on duty. Make it quick.
Howdy, I'm Seagrave. Seagrave Holmes. I have a little of just about everything here. A what? Look, if you just want to crack wise, go somewhere else. But if you've got stuff you want to sell, then I'm your man. Yep, old Pinkerton. They say he helped found Rivet City. Must be some sort of crazy genius. He kind of vanished a long time ago. I don't know where he went, but you might ask around the ship. Steal it? Hardly. He runs the council like it's his own personal bank account. He's supposed to represent all the market businesses, not just himself. It's about time he was replaced. I've got a little...
Let me introduce myself. I am Gary Staley, gourmet chef and gourmand. I'll be preparing your meal. My specialty is Meyerlurk cakes, although the iguana is very popular too. Then you are in for a treat. Yeah, I know. Thank God he's a priest. At least I know nothing's going on between them. Father Clifford would kick him out of the priesthood if he ever found out. Yeah, he comes by every night around closing time and tries to get Cindy to let him close up. Thank God she's smarter than that.
Welcome to Gary's Galley. It's named after my dad. He's a great cook. Thank you.
Did you hear about the fight in the Muddy Rudder last night?
Yeah, Belle's going to have to replace some tables and chairs.